Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Gids. Thank you so much for joining me for another fragrance video. So today I thought I would talk about my favorite oud fragrances. But first of all, before we get into that, what is oud? Well, I'm going to explain that right now. So oud oil comes from the forests of Southeast Asian alga tree. Now what happens is when this wood becomes infected with a particular type of mold, the tree reacts by producing a dark scented resin which is popularly called liquid gold. The resin-soaked wood, or alga wood, and the oil distilled from it are known as oud. Now, why is oud so expensive? Well, it's so expensive because of its rarity. Less than 2% of wild alga trees actually produce oud, which is the reason why it's so expensive and often called liquid gold. In fact, it's being quoted as being more expensive than gold. Therefore, kilo for kilo, it's more costly than gold. It also is worth knowing that it takes at least 40 years for a tree to harvest a good amount of oud. Oud is one of those notes in fragrances that I think is either a love or a hate. I also feel like there's a lot of people who don't quite know how to take oud. For some people it's too heavy, it's too skanky, it's too animalic, it's too earthy. It can smell a bit barnyardy. I've got a range here which I'm going to go through. The first one I wanted to talk about is one which really made me fall in love with oud, and it is Terry de Gunzberg. This is called Terryfic Oud Extreme. Now, as you can see, this beautiful bottle, it's very, very luxurious. It smells quite leathery, this fragrance. So it's a leathery rose oud type of fragrance. There's no leather in it, however. This is all about red fruits. There's bergamot at the top. In the middle, there's saffron and rose. And in the base, there is some oud, amber, and patchouli. So it is a very rich, a very opulent type of oud fragrance. It's an extrait, so a little goes a long way. It's very strong when you first spray this fragrance. However, as it settles down, it smells luxurious. It smells elegant and really, really refined. It's really strong though, guys. It's really, really strong. And when you first spray it, so not a lot of it comes out. That probably looked like a lot, but the sprays from this are quite minimal. So it doesn't spray a lot of the fragrance with each blast, which is quite clever because it's quite strong. I don't think this is appropriate for warm weather. I think it will kind of choke you out a bit, but I love it. I love this fragrance. It gives me that kind of rich, opulent, leathery rose oud type of scent. It's not for everyone, but I love it. The next fragrance is from the house of Armani. It's Armani Prive's Rose d'Arabie. Now, if you know about the Armani Prive line, you'll know this absolute classic. It's so beautiful. It is such a stunning rose oud fragrance with some amber, patchouli, saffron, and damask rose. It's absolutely stunning. What a stunning fragrance. It's just so elegant. It's such a luscious, beautiful rose and oud combination, and most people tend to really, really like this. I think this is one of their best sellers. It just smells so luxurious, so smooth, so elegant, and it's one of my favorite rose oud fragrances. I think maybe this is even my favorite of all time. I absolutely love this fragrance. It just smells so luxurious but elegant, and it's one which will garner compliments because a lot of people love it, and it's just so smooth and so beautiful. This is from Armani, and it is Rose d'Arabie, and of course this beautiful bottle, which is one of my favorite fragrance bottles with the beautiful gold pebble lid. Absolutely stunning. The next fragrance is from the house of Arabian Oud, and this is Kelemat Black, one of my absolute favorite oud fragrances. Now, this is such a beautiful, sweet, smoky vanilla oud fragrance with some amber, frankincense, and even basil. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the thing I love about this fragrance is it smells like no other oud fragrance that I have come across before. It has this smoky, sweet vanilla vibe which goes through the fragrance, which makes it so easy to wear, and it's really actually quite a sexy, deep fragrance as well. Very, very sexy, very sensual. It's just intoxicating. It's absolutely intoxicating. And the best thing about this is it's such a good price for what you're getting. Incredibly long lasting. It has this very warm, spicy, sweet, smoky vibe to it, which is just so enticing, and it just makes me want to keep smelling the fragrance. Every time I smell this fragrance, I just remember how great it is. And I got this for such a bargain. So I got this fragrance, which I think is 100 mils for about £50. I just love this fragrance. I think it's amazing. It's one which always just makes me feel so relaxed. It's very comforting. Sometimes I just wear this in the evenings when I'm at home, and it just really makes me feel cozy, warm, and comforted. So this is Kelemat Black from Arabian Oud. The next fragrance is a absolute classic. It is Oud Satin Mood from the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian. This is a classic. I think the Oud line from Maison Francis Kurkdjian is incredible, and this is one of my favorites. So this is another Oud rose combination. It's quite a sweet type of Oud. So it has Bulgarian rose, Turkish rose, benzoin, vanilla, oud, and violet. So it is quite a intoxicating oud fragrance. It's very, very sweet. This is more of a sweet smelling oud. So you have to enjoy more sweet fragrances because it can be a bit jarring if you're not into sweet fragrances. It can be a bit sickly, and for that reason, as much as I love this fragrance, I have to be in the mood to wear it. The beauty in this again is as it dries down, it's very, very strong in the initial opening. It's quite overpowering. It can be a little bit heady. This is not one of those fragrances to blind buy. It's one which you have to make sure you smell first. But the nice thing is the way it dries down, and its performance is excellent. If you like long-lasting fragrances, this is an excellent fragrance which will last the whole day. It's very long-lasting, especially if you spray this on like a coat. I wouldn't advise spraying these types of fragrances on light colored clothing just because they may stain, because the juice is quite dark. But on dark colored clothing like a coat or a scarf, this will really, really last, and you will smell it, especially if you're wearing it throughout the day. And this will garner you quite a lot of compliments. It's one of my most complimented fragrances generally in my entire collection. I will do a video about the fragrances which are my most complimented, just so we can compare and see, you know, what type of fragrances tend to be my most complimented. But this is a classic Oud Satin Mood, and I love wearing it. The next Oud fragrance comes from the house of Swiss Arabian. It is Shagaf Oud. I unboxed this and did a first impressions on my channel. I will link the video below. I've really been enjoying this fragrance. It's quite a strong rose oud fragrance. Again, this rose oud combination has been very, very popular over the last few years, and I think it will continue to be very popular. This also has some vanilla, some pralines, and I believe some saffron. And yeah, I mean, it's a great fragrance for what you get and the price. This is a bargain. It mimics Lancome's Oud Bouquet. So if you're familiar with the DNA of Oud Bouquet, it's pretty much quite close to the original. This just has a little bit more of a sharper opening and maybe not as smooth as Oud Bouquet, but it's very, very close. So if you want something which is affordable and is close to Oud Bouquet, this is a great, great option. It's very, very popular. It's a great price as well. I think mine was only like £21, which I think is extremely cheap, and it's super long lasting. I appreciate and enjoy the kind of gourmand vibe of this fragrance. So it has this kind of warm, chocolatey, vanilla, quite comforting vibe to the fragrance, which is really, really nice. But you still get the oud and the rose of the fragrance, which I really, really like. You do have to like sweet fragrances to appreciate this because it's quite sweet, but I really like it. I think it's very elegant and very, very enjoyable to wear, especially kind of like cozy evenings in. It's just really, really nice. The next fragrance I wanted to talk about is this. It is Miller Harris and it's called Scherzo. Now, what I love about this fragrance Scherzo is it's just such a nice, updated, modern rose oud fragrance. So it is another rose oud fragrance, but it has some tangerine at the top and some divana. It has a narcissus, which is a gorgeous floral note, and at the base you have some vanilla, some patchouli, and of course you have the oud. I really love this. It's very warm, it's sweet. Again, it's quite a comforting rose oud fragrance. It is a unisex fragrance also, and it happens to be their best seller from their range. And for good reason. I think it's an incredible fragrance. Again, quite long lasting and just so beautiful. This is a gorgeous. If I mean, I rave about Miller Harris as a brand. I think they are extraordinary what they do with perfumery. I think their perfumers are incredible, and the way they blend ingredients is amazing. Check out Miller Harris if you're able to, or go online and maybe order samples of their fragrances, because I personally think they're worth it and extremely underrated as a next fragrance, which I think is one of my most incredible oud fragrances that I own, is called Santal Royale from Guerlain. Now, this is a very, very popular oud rose combination again. I personally think it's so opulent and smells really luxurious. Again, slightly leathery, spicy. It has oud, rose, musk, amber, cinnamon, and sandalwood as well. So it's quite a beautiful combination of so many amazing notes. I love how this dries down. Again, it smells very luxurious, very opulent. It is quite a rich, quite a heavy oud. So again, if you're someone that doesn't like to wear quite heavy fragrances, I don't think this will be for you, but it does smell beautiful. It's very, very opulent. It smells very, very luxurious, and the dry down of this fragrance is just really, really nice. This is again one of the fragrances, every time I wear it, I get so many compliments. People saying, what is that? What are you wearing? It smells really nice. It's beautiful. It's very, very popular, and for very, very good reason as well. So that's another one of my favorites. This is Santal Royale from Guerlain. The next fragrance I wanted to talk about is another one which I think is quite a modern, classic, very fresh and easy to wear oud fragrance. Now, this is more of a fruity oud. It's called Moola. It's one which is actually very, very long lasting. I was surprised at how long this lasted on my skin. So this is more of a fruity vibe. It's got some lovely red fruits. It's got peach, it's got vanilla, it's got oud, patchouli, and musk. And it's really, really beautiful. It's very, very modern, a very, very modern interpretation of a fruity oud type of fragrance. I don't personally get a lot of oud in this fragrance. I get a subtle amount of it, which I think for someone that doesn't want a very strong blast of oud, this will be perfect. And this is an extrait, so it is going to last you a significant amount of time. The only drawback on this fragrance is it is a bit pricey, but I do think it is worth the money because it is a very good quality, long-lasting fragrance, and one which is quite unique. It almost smells like it's got some kind of caramel in the fragrance, so slightly gourmand, but it is incredibly smooth and really, really beautiful. It's just such a really nice fragrance. Again, one which I wore and someone said to me, what are you wearing? It's absolutely amazing. And I said, Mula. Which obviously was a good conversation starter. They were like, what's that? I was like, it's my fragrance. The only, again, drawback is two things actually. It's pricey and it's quite hard to find. You have to go online to buy this fragrance. Mula doesn't really have their own website, so I think you have to go through Etsy to buy it, and it is quite pricey. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I'd want to commit to a full-size bottle of this fragrance. But I think it's worth the money if you really, really love it, but it is a bit on the pricey side. The next and final fragrance is from Louis Vuitton, and I have a decant of it. This is the Sable Roses. Again, it's another oud rose fragrance, but what I like about this is it's a bit more spicy and a little bit sweet. So this has Bulgarian rose, it's got ambergris, it's got saffron, it's got black pepper, and of course it's got a rich blast of oud in the base. I really love this. To me, it smells very opulent. It smells very classy. It smells elegant, a bit spicy, a bit peppery, a touch animalic, but done in the right way. It's not offensive. It's not going to make people run away from you. It's absolutely beautiful. I think this is quite a strong fragrance as well. So this is one of their stronger fragrances from Louis Vuitton. It's one that I am planning to buy, but recently Louis Vuitton have had a price increase, so this has gone up again, and it's not a cheap fragrance. And as you can see, I bought a decant of it because I love it so much. I cursed the day I smelt this fragrance, but Sable Roses happens to be one of my absolute favourite rose oud fragrances because it's just divine. So that was my selection of my favourite oud fragrances from my collection. Let me know your thoughts. Have you tried any of these fragrances? What are some of your favourite oud fragrances? Do you like oud as a note in fragrances? And yeah, let's have a discussion in the comments. Let me know if you've tried any of these, if you own any of them. And like I said, what are some of your favorite oud fragrances? Let me know. I'm always looking for new ideas and suggestions. But thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. Hi to all my new subscribers as well. It means a lot. And I'll see you in my next video. Take care, guys.